Welcome back to RJ's Antics. Join me as I share my experiences of being pregnant in China. How and when did we find out that we're pregnant? That was the 29th of January at 2:30, after a whole morning of throwing up. It didn't even occur to me that we could be pregnant. I was at home getting dressed and getting ready for a class that I had at 3:30. But considering how I felt that day, I was not going to be able to do this. So I messaged Craig and asked him to please come home because I was not sure what was going on. So Craig rushes home and we go to a GP who is not far off from our apartment. We've been to her before, probably a month or two before, for a migraine that I'd had. So we get to the GP, explain what the problem is, obviously using the WeChat translator app because by now we were already familiar with each other. She does some examinations, asks some questions and gives me a stick and tells me to go pee on it. It was probably a minute after I peed on the stick and she looks at me with this big grin and she points to the stick and she says, well, 2 lines means, yeah, this is a positive. I was lost for words. Craig was on top of the world and the doctor just laughed. So I asked her if we could please do this test again. She says, no problem, if you can pee again, we can do the test again. So I took the test again, waited a couple minutes or so. Same results. I was now starting to get a little bit nervous, a little bit excited. This is what we wanted, but I didn't expect it to happen as soon as it did. That visit costed us 10 yuan, and because of all the excitement, we paid her a lot more, which was fine. Our way of saying thank you for the good news. And then she gave me her husband's contact card. Her husband is actually a doctor who works at the Haicheng hospital, and she asked me to get in contact with him, make arrangements and get a proper blood test and a proper pregnancy test done at the hospital. So what's the doctor's rooms like? What's the procedure like, you ask? It's a walk-in policy. No need to make an appointment. Medical insurance and cash patients use the service. It's a dispensing surgery as well, and the rates or fees are extremely cheap. And the medication given out, if you need, is rather good. So just going back a little bit to the first time we went to these doctor's rooms was for the migraine I mentioned, and the magnetic patches that she had placed at the back of my neck and behind my ears costed us 6 yuan. So you can see, very reasonable rates. A week later, we met with the GP's husband, Dr Wei, at the Haicheng hospital. So the arrangements were made via WeChat. WeChat's got a translate function, and that's how we were able to communicate and make arrangements to meet to do a proper test. Then we get to the hospital and the doctor's waiting outside the hospital together with security just to make us feel so welcome. That was really very nice of them. The doctor helps us get registered, get put onto the system, and introduces us to the director of gynecology, Chief Yang, that's her name. Our experience up to this point, like royalty. Absolutely outstanding. People go out of their way to help you. We've experienced this in supermarkets, we've experienced this at restaurants, beauty salon, everywhere. People really are absolutely friendly. Whether it's because we're just foreigners and we are fresh faces to them, but generally Chinese people have very huge hearts. We meet with Chief Yang. She asked me a few questions like age, last PMS date, any previous pregnancies, makes arrangements for me to have a scan done, takes us herself to this department, waits there till the scan's done, and then takes us back to her rooms. We also had bloods and a urine test done.
Really? Wow. Wow. One or two? One. Okay.
来3.0，不是那个看囊啊，5.2。
It's official.
3.4。
You got the little bean.
3.2长，2.8。那比你的饲料非常的超哦。
Look at him.
这点的就是牙长啊，对啊，就是牙长，前庭增大啊。
At this stage, we were 9 weeks pregnant. So Chief Yang said to be back at the hospital at 1 o'clock for the results of the blood test. The blood tests are done in cubicles, similar to the setup of a bank teller. So your bloods are done in that way and your results get printed out from a self-service machine. Coming up now. It's 1 p.m. We get back to the hospital and go see Chief Yang, who helps us get a printout of our results. Good results. The only concern was that my iron levels were a little low. Actually, there was another concern. To the gynae, of course, not to me. My age. You see, this living God that I serve, age to him is no issue. So because my gynae was concerned about my age factor, she referred us to another department called the Mother and Child Center. This place was able to do another scan that the Haicheng hospital was not able to do for women who are kind of older and pregnant for the first time. Because it was a little bit late now, we needed to have this test done on an empty stomach, and the time did not permit, so we decided that the following week, Monday, we would go to the Mother and Child Center to have another scan done. Monday and Tuesday is our rest days, so that was convenient for us. Now we're at the Mother and Child Center. We need to get registered and put onto their system. So we get registered. It costs us 200 yuan. We hand in our referral letter from the gynae at Haicheng Center and we get another scan done. Here too, we get extremely good service. We get more bloods done, more urine tested, and we get the baby's heart rate checked. And then we see my age. And it's another concern to them. The doctor now says that we need to go to Anshan. Anshan is another city away from Haicheng, slightly more equipped to do this kind of scan. The name of the scan or the type of the scan is called a non-invasive DNA screening. Since we were already here and the time was right, now was a good time to find out the gender. Here's the thing. Gender revealing in China is not as big as it is in the Western world. Not too long ago, maybe 5 years ago, there was a law in place that prohibited gender revealing at any medical center. So the tradition is that boys are more superior, more wanted, more needed than girls. So if a woman is pregnant and she is told that she's having a girl, nasty things used to happen. For that reason, many girl babies were aborted, and which resulted in China having more men than women, which is now a huge problem. So during my scan, I discreetly asked the nurse if she would tell me the gender of my baby. She was very reluctant at first because there were other women in the room as well. So during the scan, very nervously, she said to me, and I was like overjoyed because this is what I always wanted. I would have definitely been happy if it was a girl baby, but this was just totally amazing. But she was very scared. She really was.
Very, very beautiful.